Welcome back to Tech Talks from Commercial Baking. I'm your host, Joni Spencer. In this episode, sponsored by AMF Bakery Systems, I am speaking with Shari Liddell, Director of Customer Care for the Americas at AMF, and we are discussing aftermarket support tools that can help maintain the life of bakery equipment. Hi, Shari. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, so I just want to start out with sort of a broad question and talk about what are some of the common challenges that bakers often face when it comes to maintaining their equipment overall.
Yeah, we often see a lot of teammates struggling with identifying their parts. So, finding the correct replacement parts or how to actually locate them on their machines is sometimes difficult. And having a difficult time just figuring out where to get that information, find it in the manual can also take a long time. So a lot of times it can take somebody taking a picture and then they might have to put like their hand in the picture so that we can see how big it is or we can see how far away it is. And then there's a lot of back and forth emails. And then it might even take an expert, someone who knows that piece of equipment, because it could be something that's really old, to help determine what's needed. So as you can imagine, that process can be super frustrating for the operator who they're not really formally trained in our equipment. And so it can be really difficult, the back and forth conversation. Oh, it's this part or this part. So we at AMF, we try to address this challenge by going out and listening to our customers. We did some voice of the customer research. And when we did those interviews, we found out that customers were really looking for a faster and simpler way to figure out what parts that they needed. And what we developed was a portal that allows you to interact with a 3D machine model. And that way you can quickly locate the part in the machine. You can view it and turn that machine over. You can see what the part number is. You can then get a detailed description of that part, and it's all available in one place in that portal. And then you can get all kinds of other information and be able to order that part. And that way you can eliminate all that back and forth conversation and frustration. And it just puts everything in the hands of the operator and just makes it easy. So we call it the easy button.
That's awesome. And yeah, when you said, you mentioned the dreaded manual, and it kind of got me thinking like equipment is built to last a long time, but technology changes faster than the lifespan of the equipment. So I was thinking about how we're in this digital world and thinking about digital tools. So the portal is such a fantastic digital tool. How do the digital tools like this help with training as well?
Yeah. So maybe just take a step back for just 1 second that digital tools in bakeries are kind of in different stages. And depending on the bakery and potentially the people working at that bakery, you may be
Right.
more or less open to using digital tools. But in addition to the portal, as you mentioned, we have some additional support. So we do have a new, what we call AMF Premium training program, which we launched about 2 years ago. And the reason we launched it was because there's a lot of turnover in the bakeries and they have a lot of training challenges. And it started out as we were thinking people just needed to understand how to operate the machinery. And then it just kind of turned into like they really need access to on demand training information. And if we could put all of this at their fingertips and make it more interactive because it's digital, and have it with built-in Q&A and have some knowledge articles, and then the maintenance teams could actually use it directly on the plant floor if they have tablets. And then we started enhancing it further by allowing our customers to track all the information that they're getting for the training that their teammates are doing with it. We heard from them that they really like that, the ability to use the information to do it for skills testing and also to enhance the capabilities of their teammates. And then also, if you think about it, the turnover at the bakery is not just because people are aging out, I guess, at a lot of these bakeries. A lot of those skills are going away, but they want to be able to flex those workers at different parts of the bakery. And so having these kind of training tools is really important so that one day somebody might be working at the oven and the next day they might be working at the packaging area. So having it available digitally makes it a lot easier for them. So I do think that digital tools in the future will play a huge role for bakeries. I think having the ability to self-serve to troubleshoot issues and train them and maximize equipment performance is really going to be important for bakeries in the future.
Absolutely. And, you're and talking about training and just having a shortage of skilled labor, it kind of gets me thinking, we usually talk about equipment maintenance and we talk about training on the equipment. But I'm kind of thinking with the various challenges that come in this change in workforce, does training, like if you have a workforce who's properly trained with these digital tools, can that actually support the life of the equipment when they're better trained? Does that mean that they can better maintain the machines?
Yeah, absolutely. If your maintenance staff knows how to fix whatever it is, I guarantee you the machine will last longer. So, preventative maintenance is absolutely critical in a 24/7 operation. One of the biggest challenges is having enough knowledgeable people to perform the maintenance consistently. And so, having that training is just critical. The other thing that we have done with customers is we have also invested in AMF service plans. And that is when our technicians come out and they perform kind of routine maintenance on a monthly, quarterly, or semi annual or annual basis with our customers. So it's a partnership. We customize it completely. And those customers who make this investment in these service plans typically experience fewer shutdowns because they are investing in the long term performance of that machine. You will also get more operator training because when we're on site, we are training those operators. And we also are building in predictive maintenance alerts into our HMI machines. We will teach the operators what does that mean? What does this warning light mean? And it will help prevent a failure to happen in the future. So if you have these kinds of tools and digital opportunities, I think it'll definitely enhance your bakery and it'll definitely prevent any kind of shutdowns.
Absolutely. And I was even thinking that like large scale bakeries that are running 24/7, that preventive maintenance becomes really critical. And then I like what you said about your customer care team that you can have this personal care. So although AMF has really evolved the digital tools, I know that that's one kind of worry that bakers sometimes have is, well, does that mean that we're going to be left on our own if we have digital? Is that replacing that personal interaction? So that's good to know that you all still send your reps out to
Oh,
work
yeah.
with the operators.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's very important to have the combination of self-service. They can help themselves and look things up, but then they can also get the people who can come out and teach and also show and also support if needed. But also you want them to have a customer care organization that can support them with 24/7 technical support. So we also offer that. So you can call us at any time. And when a customer contacts us, we actually create a support case and we engage with the customer and we do not let go that case until it's resolved. So that's also
Great.
important.
So like you said, time is money, but what about like issues of quality? How does downtime impact quality? And then how are you guys sort of helping bakers along to make sure that your equipment, when it's being used, is producing the best quality baked goods that they can make?
Yeah, so as I think we talked about before, so having reliable equipment is really important to making sure you have high quality product because if you have shutdown, you will
Right.
potentially impact the quality. So the earlier you can identify issues like a worn belt or a faulty sensor, etc., that is going to help make sure that you're going to minimize waste and avoid any kind of quality issues. So people who are proactive with maintenance and sign up for our service programs and work with our customer care teammates, they all tell us that that pays off because we work collaboratively with them to ensure that we are identifying ways to make sure that they're getting the parts that they need, the services that they need, so that they can be successful and that they don't have any shutdowns. Shutdowns create chaos. Chaos is a loss of money. So, yeah.
And I've been in a bakery when a line was shut down, and chaos is a really good word for it. So this is something that even current customers can look into adding the customer care to what they are working with AMF right now, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So existing customers already have a dedicated AMF customer care representative and an outside customer care representative. And new customers, when they come on board to AMF, they will immediately get assigned one.
Shari, thank you so much for explaining all of this. And again, just like bringing to light some of the things that we might take for granted when we think about aftermarket and what happens with the equipment once it's installed. This was really enlightening and super helpful for our audience. So thank you so much for taking time to talk to me about this.
Sure. Thanks for making the time.